Welcome everyone to the Diabetes Canada National Award and Recognition Celebration. My name is Nafisa Mirali, co-chair of the National Awards Review Committee. It is my pleasure to be your MC this afternoon. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we're on today. While we meet today on a virtual platform, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the land which we call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nation people that call this nation home. Please join me in a moment of reflection to acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past and to consider how we are and can each in our own way try to move forward in the spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Before we begin the virtual celebration by playing a video of the volunteer contributions to Diabetes Canada from across the country this past year, I would like you to reflect on the quote on the screen by Khalil Gibran. You give but little when you give of your possessions. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. And with that, we'll start the volunteer video. Wonderful. Thank you, Matt, for making that work for us. That was a lovely tribute to many volunteers who support Diabetes Canada nationwide. I'm delighted that so many award recipients and supporters were able to join us today. I'd like to acknowledge and thank my volunteer colleagues on the National Awards Committee who helped review the many nominations that came in across Canada, including Catherine Arcudi and Karen Omchinsky. both of whom are longstanding diabetes educators and volunteers themselves. Thank you all for taking the time to join online, celebrating the day after International Volunteer Day on December the 5th, which was yesterday. We have a brief but a full program today and an opportunity to highlight the accomplishments of the 2021 National Awards and Recognitions. Today, we will have the opportunity to present 12 recipients of Canada's National Awards and Recognition. It is so amazing to see many of our award recipients with diverse backgrounds, skills, and interests. Although the COVID-19 pandemic has dramatically altered the landscape of volunteerism and community partnership, we're still inspired and thankful that Diabetes Canada has been able to make the virtual shift, innovate, and more importantly, keep our community, supporters, and volunteers engaged during such a challenging time. So today, we're here to celebrate you, the volunteers and the community supporters who make this vibrant organization come to life. Collectively, we all have the desire to make a positive contribution to help those who are impacted by diabetes. That's how Diabetes Canada was started, and it certainly continues today. Despite the many different ways that volunteers and the community supporters make their contributions to Diabetes Canada, the end result is somewhat amazing. Volunteers inform us what is needed most and where. They help deliver education and awareness about diabetes. They help develop professional and clinical information and tools. Volunteers provide passionate voices that help convince governments and other key stakeholders to make changes to policies that will impact thousands. Volunteers provide life-changing connections and relationships between kids with diabetes and their families. And lastly, but not least, volunteers essentially raise all of the funds that are needed to support our work. Diabetes Canada would not have been founded without volunteers and community partners, and we wouldn't exist today without you. We can never thank you enough for your contributions, and every single contribution counts. International Volunteer Day is celebrated globally each year on December the 5th. This year's theme, encourage people to volunteer now for our common future. This resonates with Diabetes Canada since our partners, volunteers, healthcare professionals, advocates, and community organizations have been making a difference in the lives of Canadians affected by diabetes since day one and continue to drive progress to help us end diabetes. We are here today to recognize and highlight our volunteers that are taking actions now to improve the quality of life of nearly 11.5 million Canadians affected by diabetes. And with that, I'd like to introduce our very own Laura Siren, President and CEO of Diabetes Canada.
Thank you so much, Nafisa. And hello, everybody. I'm very excited to be here today, celebrating the passion and the dedication of our volunteers and our partners, and to express on behalf of all of us at Diabetes Canada my sincere gratitude for all that you do for Diabetes Canada and for all of those affected by diabetes, and that includes myself. While COVID-19 continued to keep us apart again in 2021, your enthusiasm and commitment to our cause never wavered. You've been adaptable and you've continued to step up in making a difference in the lives of those in our diabetes communities. We've had an exciting year with new educational programs, some new fundraising events, and continued advocacy efforts, most often still online, but a few in person. And it's not an exaggeration to say that we couldn't have done it without your help. This year, we've also had a lot to celebrate. As you know, 2021 is a milestone year. It's the 100th anniversary of the discovery of insulin. And we took the opportunity to celebrate this very important Canadian discovery, but also to focus on the work that still needs to be done. Because as you well know, despite the discovery of insulin 100 years ago, more Canadians are living with diabetes than ever before. And insulin is not a cure, so we can't wait another 100 years to end diabetes. We've also just wrapped up at the end of November another successful Diabetes Awareness Month, and I know many of you played a role in supporting us. Not only did we hit, but we blew right through our November goal of having Canadians across this country take 100,000 actions to help end diabetes in its 100th anniversary year. I'm so proud to share that we actually went over 165,000 actions by the end of November. So just congratulations and thank you. As Nafisa said, the work of volunteers is truly irreplaceable. As a volunteer, you give time, one of the most precious resources in our lives. Your time volunteering is invaluable and a true testament to your commitment to those affected by diabetes. And as a volunteer, you bring so much more to Diabetes Canada than your time. You also bring your skills, your advice, your experience, friendship, vision, leadership, and inspiration. Please know your work does not go unnoticed, and we are exceptionally grateful for all that you do. Your work truly improves the lives of Canadians living with and affected by diabetes. And today we get to celebrate you. So it's a privilege and an honor for me to kick off the first official award of our program today. It's the Frederick G. Banting Award, and what a great way to kick off, because it's the 100th anniversary of insulin, and he would have been 130 this year. This award recognizes an organization or an individual who has significantly contributed to either preventing diabetes and chronic disease in Canada, or to improving the quality of life of individuals affected by diabetes across the country. And it is an honor to share that this year's recipient is the MP from Brampton, Ontario, Sonia Sidhu. MP Sidhu has been a tireless, and I mean tireless, advocate for Canadians at risk of or who are affected by diabetes, both within her community of Brampton, but also across the whole country. Sonia's accomplishments are many, but today I want to highlight three truly game-changing ones. In 2021, Sonia did three amazing things. First, she gained unanimous support for a nationwide strategy for diabetes within the Standing Committee on Health. No easy feat. Two, she tabled and achieved passage of Bill C-237 into law in June. That law requires the federal government to formally table a nationwide diabetes strategy by June 2022. And finally, she helped secure a $35 million commitment for diabetes in the federal budget. These three incredible accomplishments will have an ongoing and significant impact on the health of people living with diabetes across Canada. I am sure you will agree with me that MP Sidhu is the most fitting recipient of the Frederick Banting Award on this 100th anniversary of the discovery of insulin. Congratulations, Sonia, and thank you for all that you do for diabetes. And MP Sidhu would like to share a few words of thanks with everyone. So I invite you to come off mute and take the mic, Sonia.
Yes.
Thank you, Laura. Good afternoon, everyone. I feel honored to be here with an incredible team of volunteers and want to thank Diabetes Canada for gathering us here today virtually. I also want to recognize all the volunteers here with us today. I'm honored to receive an award that bears the name of Sir Frederick Banting, a pioneer in medical research, one of the greatest Canadian scientists to ever live. This year is special because we are celebrating the 100th anniversary of the discovery of insulin at the University of Toronto. I worked in healthcare for over 18 years before entering politics, including when I was taking a diabetic clinic over and over again. I saw how it impacted people's lives and led to other conditions. I see the devastating effects of diabetes on patients in my community and all in Canada. 1 in 6 Bramptonians are impacted by diabetes. I knew when I put my name on the ballot and I had to use my voice in Ottawa to advocate for those living with the diabetes. As grateful that I feel today, I also feel an incredible sense of responsibility. When I introduced Bill C-237, the National Framework on Diabetes last spring in the House of Commons, I had a goal to increase awareness, support research, and help people living with the diabetes. It is also why, as a chair of all Party Diabetes Caucus, I introduced a motion declaring November as Diabetes Awareness Month. I have been proud to raise awareness for this cause among my colleagues with events like Diabetes Days on the Hill and to represent Canada on the issue on the world stage. Last year, I had the opportunity to travel to the Banting House in London, where we rekindled the flame of hope. Laura, you know that we were together there. I know that the many people with the diabetes travel there every year to visit the monument to the man who saved diabetic lives, who gave the new lives, I can say, with the discovery of insulin. I also know our work together gives Canadian hope. That hope one day we will extinguish the flame and find a cure for diabetes. I want to thank Diabetes Canada for their commitment to bettering the lives of 11 million Canadians living with diabetes or pre-diabetes. I also would like to thank many individuals and organizations that support diabetes research. And thank you again, all the volunteers. Thank you so much. By working together, I'm confident that one day we can bring an end of this disease. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sonia. We appreciate so much all you do for us and look forward to continuing to work with you on this important cause. It's now my pleasure to announce the second award, the Outstanding National Partnership Award. This award recognizes a partner of Diabetes Canada who's worked alongside us to create significant strides in improving the lives of those with diabetes. It is my true pleasure today to announce that this year's Outstanding National Partnership Award goes to Novo Nordisk Canada. As a global leader in supporting excellence in diabetes care, we couldn't think of a more appropriate recipient for this award. Novo, you are a visionary in facilitating access to diabetes education and innovation in Canada. And we can't thank you enough for your ongoing partnership with us. For those of you who may not be familiar, Novo Nordisk has made many contributions in 2021, as they have in many years prior, to improve the lives of people with diabetes in Canada. There's many things I could list, but the two I want to highlight include support for healthcare professional and patient education, because we know the more you know about your disease, the better your quality of life living with it. They've also played a big role in helping to disseminate Diabetes Canada's clinical practice guidelines, so that when an individual goes to their healthcare provider, they're getting the best management and treatment. But in 2021, they did something even more than that. Novo Nordisk went over and above to make a history-making transformational donation to rebuild the medical center at Camp Huronda, so that all children who attend camp can have continued safe delivery of care now and for generations to come. This building is so important at the camp. It's where many campers will learn how to administer their insulin or change an insulin pump site independently for the first time. The new building will provide a modern and safe environment for children to learn from medical experts in the most unique and real-life setting. These are skills that these campers will carry with them for a lifetime. So we are so grateful for that transformational donation. We now have the privilege of hearing from Beatrice Clerk, President of Novo Nordisk.
Thank you, Diabetes Canada, for awarding Novo Nordisk with the Outstanding National Partner Award this year. At Novo Nordisk, our corporate social responsibility is to defeat diabetes. Our purpose is necessary now more than ever as diabetes continues to rise. We thank everyone at Diabetes Canada for their steadfast commitment to help people living with diabetes while also working to find a cure. We are stronger together.
Thank you, Beatrice, and congratulations to Novo Nordisk. I'd now like to pass things back over to Nafisa. Over to you, Nafisa, who's going to present the next group of awards.
All right. Thank you very much, Laura. Our next award is the Kurt Crossan Inspiration Award. This award recognizes an individual who has overcome great odds to manage their diabetes and continue to live a fulfilling, active, and inspiring life. It brings me great pleasure to announce this year's recipient, Leslie Ann Bent. Leslie Ann has lived with type 1 diabetes since 1975 and has been an active contributor to Diabetes Canada. In July of this year, as British Columbia was moving into phase 3 of its COVID recovery, Leslie Ann used her creativity and enthusiasm to create 100 Years of Jazz, celebrating 100 years of insulin music concert. Leslie Ann involved her community in donating door prizes, supplying food and refreshments, creating decorations, selling raffle tickets, recruiting silent auction prizes, and creating treat bags. The event ultimately raised $1,260 and secured her goal to create a fun evening raising money for Diabetes Canada, at the same time being safe and having fun doing it. Congratulations, Leslie Ann. Next is our National Young Volunteer of the Year Award. This award honors a young adult who has demonstrated dedication to advancing Diabetes Canada's mission. This year, the Young Volunteer of the Year is Miles Dyer. At 14, Miles has been an amazing addition to Diabetes Canada. Miles has been an active fundraiser, raising more than $4,000 with Put a Squeeze lemonade stand, an ambassador for DCAMS, and an advocate sharing his own personal diabetes story at the Manitoba MLA reception and beyond. Miles is a true inspiration to all the Diabetes Canada staff and fellow volunteers alike. One day, Miles, I'm going to come and try out your lemonade stand. And thank you very much for your service, Miles, and a big congratulations. Our next award is the Collaboration Award. This award celebrates outstanding examples of collaboration within the diabetes community. Recipients recognize that the benefits that come from accessing the expertise of individuals, local businesses, government, nonprofits, or charities, be it human, financial, or physical. This year's award recipient is Multiple District C Lions Cavalcade Diabetes Awareness. As a program partner in the former Traveling Diabetes Resource Program, the MDC Lions Cavalcade came on board as a presenting partner of Peer Connect, a virtual peer support group servicing communities throughout Alberta, Northeastern BC, and Northwest Territories. Their support in pivoting to virtual offerings reaffirmed our continued collaboration to provide diabetes education support throughout the province. Thank you and congratulations to MDC Lions Cavalcade. And now the Charles H. Best Award. This award recognizes a health professional who has made a significant difference across Canada towards improving the quality of life of individuals living with diabetes. This year's award goes to Dr. Michael Vallis. Dr. Vallis has been supporting people living with diabetes for 35 years in his capacity as a health psychologist. In addition to consulting nationally and internationally, Dr. Vallis is heavily involved in academic publications, journal editing, and clinical practice guidelines, including the Diabetes Canada Clinical Practice Guidelines for 2004, 2013, and 2018. Dr. Vallis is a regular Diabetes Canada speaker on topics related to psychology and chronic disease for both people affected by diabetes and healthcare professionals. He is an invaluable asset to the development of mental health related programs, including the How to Type 1 program, Peer Connect, Take Control, Let's End Diabetes Type 2 conference, and a mental health training program for healthcare professionals. Many, many congratulations and thanks to Dr. Vallis for your contributions. Our next award, it is my great pleasure to announce the National Advocacy Leadership Award. This award recognizes an advocacy volunteer who has demonstrated exemplary leadership, commitment, and dedication in advancing public policy in the interests of people living with diabetes and in accordance with the advocacy strategy of Diabetes Canada. This year's recipient is Yukon Type 1 Diabetes Support Network. The Yukon Type 1 group spent over 1,000 hours to affect health policy in the Yukon to enhance the lives of Yukoners with type 1 diabetes. As a result of its advocacy work, Yukon government was the first jurisdiction in Canada to cover the cost of continuous glucose monitors known as CGM. This group flexed their advocacy muscles by researching and identifying a department to host a CGM program, negotiating with the department to launch a pilot project, handling all administrative requirements in managing the pilot project, meeting with official opposition parties on dozens of occasions, and repeatedly engaging with health and social services about expanding CGM coverage to all ages. After their tireless efforts, Yukon became the first jurisdiction in Canada to cover the cost of CGM. Congratulations to the Yukon Type 1 Support Network. Thank you. Next, we have our National Volunteers of the Year. Diabetes Canada's Volunteer of the Year award is given to individuals who have gone above and beyond to support our work. These individuals demonstrate dedication and achievements that make an impact in advancing Diabetes Canada's mission and goals. These individuals are incredible, and today we're honoring these three incredible individuals. Our first award goes to Randeep Birdi from Alberta. As a respected community pharmacist, certified diabetes educator, and volunteer, Randeep has contributed to many Diabetes Canada initiatives and activities. Among many of his initiatives, Randeep supported and was a member of the advisory committee for the 2021 Taking Control, Let's End Diabetes Type 2 conference, the 2021 Peer Connect Alberta, Northwest Territory, Northeast BC Advisory Committee, a member of the Diabetes Canada South Asian Diabetes Awareness Committee based in Edmonton. He also gives his time as an expert at many Diabetes Canada education events and expos by supporting Ask the Expert booth, both for the South Asian community and the general Edmonton population. Randeep is an outstanding community leader, and congratulations, Randeep. Our next award goes to Darcy Sutton. Darcy Sutton first volunteered with Diabetes Canada as an 8-year-old and spent 10 years volunteering as a residential door-to-door canvasser in her community. This year, Darcy is recognized as a cause champion for Lace Up to End Diabetes campaign, coordinating and leading a family and friends walk in her community and raising more than $2,000 towards diabetes research. Darcy also attends the quarterly virtual Diabetes Canada Peer Connect program in Alberta, Northwest Territories, and Northeast BC, assisting as a breakout discussion room moderator, welcoming and encouraging discussion amongst participants, stimulating conversations, sharing questions, and honoring all opinions without judgments. We're very proud of you, Darcy, and congratulations, Darcy. And our third award goes to SMC Canada. On July 31st, 2021, the Sikh Motorcycle Club of Canada, SMC, hosted Ride for the Cause, Let's End Diabetes, to raise awareness and funds to help support the work led by Diabetes Canada to help end diabetes. The rides took place across 5 provinces and brought over 200 riders and raised a whopping $113,000 to support Diabetes Canada's mission. We thank you, SMC Canada, and congratulations. And on a side note, I saw you on the news today helping the flood victims in Abbotsford, and we really truly appreciate all the efforts that you make on behalf of the community. Moving on to the Innovation Award, it is my pleasure to congratulate Dale Alderson. The Innovation Award honors individuals who have found innovative, creative, and efficient solutions to further Diabetes Canada's mission and make a difference in the lives of people living with diabetes. This year's recipient, Dale Alderson, has dedicated countless hours in creative and innovative fundraising projects to support the mission of the organization. Dale has cycled from Vancouver to Winnipeg and created the fundraising project called the SID Project and Corn for the Cause, planting, harvesting, and selling organic corn in downtown Winnipeg. All these innovative initiatives have raised over $30,000. Congratulations, Dale, and let's keep the great ideas coming. And finally, the Bold and Audacious Achievement Award. This award honors the achievement of a goal or a project that set a compelling vision for something so impactful, others might have doubted that it could be done, but they did it anyway. This year's recipient is Paul Kuspira. Paul is an advocate for Diabetes Canada, always advocating for insulin pump coverage for those over 25 in Saskatchewan. In the words of Paul's nominator, and I'm quoting, "As you're aware, Paul has recently been in the news for his advocacy on behalf of others who need insulin pumps and require government assistance due to high costs. His work made a difference, and the announced funding will make a difference in the lives of strangers. As a television anchor, it was amazing to see other media stations jump at the story covering Paul speaking at the legislature as he advocated and fought for the funding. I am so proud of my old friend, to say the least," unquote. We are also very proud of you here at Diabetes Canada, Paul, and congratulations to you. I'd now like to leave you with the final quote, a quote from Margaret Mead, and I quote, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." And with that, thank you and congratulations to all those recognized today. And I'm going to pass it over to Laura for her final remarks.
Thank you, Nafisa. And I'm actually going to let a poet, Ontario's Poet Laureate, give us final remarks. But before I do, I just want to say what an inspirational group you all are. I'm in awe of everything you do. And as Nafisa went through all those awards, it blows us away. All the unique ways that you have supported Diabetes Canada in 2021. Improving the quality of life for those affected by diabetes cannot be done alone. We are so fortunate to have all of you giving your time, your energy towards creating healthier communities, supporting education, raising critical funds, and advocating for access to quality diabetes care. We are deeply grateful for all that you do. As we look forward into 2022, I'm excited about what's ahead for the diabetes community. I'm also looking forward to getting out and hopefully meeting some of you in person once it's safe to do so. I keep thinking it's going to be safe to do so, and then we get another curveball. Because of your continued passion and support, Diabetes Canada is positioned better than ever to raise awareness and to raise funds for critical diabetes research, education, and advocacy, so that Canadians don't have to wait another 100 years to end diabetes. So congratulations to all of you again. And I wanted to close out today's celebration from a video from a lovely young gentleman, Randall Adjay, who is Ontario's first Poet Laureate. I didn't know we had a Poet poet laureate, until we got to meet him at the World Diabetes Day event held in November at Banting House. He created a special poem for the 100th anniversary of insulin and for that event, and you're going to see a portion of that poet. So we're going to watch the video. Over to you, Matt.
Dear Dr. Frederick Banting, on that Halloween night in 1920, when you first wrote your idea down on paper, what was once a scary diagnosis for some has become Canada's greatest gift to the world. That idea transformed into the discovery of insulin. Before the discovery, diabetes was a death sentence for those who could not produce insulin in their bodies, or those who could not produce enough. You identified a buried treasure in all of us. It reminded me that the best remedies already live within. You were an alchemist, transforming a rocky disease into a golden opportunity. No one knows the number of lives that have been saved. Granted, another day, a passport into a future that prior to 1922 did not exist. 13-year-old Leonard Thompson was the first life to be saved. On May 3rd, 1922, it took the world by storm and paved the way. It was in this home, in 1921, that vision became an idea, and eventually a reality. Dr. Banting, did you know that the world was depending on you? Could you feel the weight of it on your shoulders? What motivated your efforts after each failed attempt? It goes to show, indeed, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Never give up in life. The nugget of gold could appear at the next possible attempt. During the experiments, it was said that the prototype needed to be more refined and retested. I believe that the final product was just as pure as your intentions. You've inspired me to act on my ideas, live a life that seeks to serve with the tenacity that failure is not an option, and to leave a legacy before my coffin. The word insulin is derived from the Latin word insula, meaning island or land in the sea. No one person is an island, so I extend my gratitude to your team, consisting of Charles Best, John Leonard, James Collop, whose names remain in history books, with you and the other 3 men who supported in the research. Today, those with diabetes are no longer starved to heal. You fed the globe a nourishing gift of life in mass appeal. You once said, diabetes has no boundaries, no age or ethnic group, and insulin is Canada's greatest gift to the world. Today, 422 million people live with diabetes, and that affects us all directly and indirectly. By the year 2030, it is said that 10.2% of the world population will rely on insulin. The discovery was a starting point, not a finish line. We still have so much more to go. Recently, researchers discovered a novel and druggable insulin inhibitory receptor named Inceptor. The blocking of Inceptor function that leads to the increased sensitization of the insulin signaling pathways in pancreatic beta cells. We are still building on the foundation you laid. Because of you, hundreds of millions celebrate another major milestone in the year, also known as a Diversary, which symbolizes the anniversary of the day they are diagnosed. I'd like to take this time to wish you a happy birthday. You would have been 130 today. In honor of your life, we are gathered here at your place to celebrate and raise awareness of the centennial discovery of insulin. Despite the jubilant celebration of this day and the 422 million survivors of diabetes, we have yet to discover a cure. Researchers at Mount Sinai in Toronto continue to find drugs that can regenerate these insulin-producing beta cells. Ending diabetes will happen as a result of a collection of actions that together have transformative power. As the flame of hope continues to burn, we must pass on the torch for the next generation. The legacy continues. The race towards a cure is a relay race. We must pass on Sir Banting's baton. Diabetes Canada is asking Canadians to take 100,000 actions to end diabetes. We can all join the movement, be an advocate, fundraise, or raise awareness. We can't wait 100 years. We can't wait another 100 years to end diabetes. We can each play a role in the 100,000 actions during and after the Diabetes Month. To the families and friends of those who have lost their lives to diabetes, we are still fighting for a cure. Their deaths did not go in vain. The flame of hope continues to burn as we fight for the elixir, the next innovative medical change. Until then, we can all play our part in fanning the flames. Dr. Banting, thank you for following your calling, your purpose in life, your gift to the world. Our world is not the same without your vision, your legacy, your imprint. Although you are physically gone, your stamp on the world is still living. Thank you so much.
So that concludes our session today. I want to thank you again for joining us, and congratulations to all the award winners and to all of you who are joining today. We look forward to working with you again in 2022 and seeing you at next year's celebration. Thank you all.